Hey, hey, y'all. I am Nikki with Avery Lynn Creations and ALC Yarns, and this is the Yarn Everywhere podcast where I just share with you all the crazy things that are going on over here at ALC. Um, and I'm gonna jump in and show y'all my current whips. But first, I just have to tell y'all, I had planned on going live way sooner, but I had to call my insurance company about a claim from October of last year that I had already called earlier this year to get handled. And that's not even what this is about. This is about the crazy conversation that I just had with the insurance agent. Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. So there's something that I guess we'll just call it the Delia factor. So my grandmother's name was Delia. This is my mom's mom. And she is the type of person that people just feel comfortable with her. Like people that don't even know her would come up to her and talk to her and just confide things in her, and it was really sweet. It really was. It was very interesting going in public with my grandma because like, even just a 5-second, trip to the store, you're just running in to get something and, coming back out, grandma would be in there forever because everybody was gonna talk to her. And so my mom and I talk about this all the time that people will just tell us the strangest things, or they'll just come up to us and talk to us, and so we'll just call it the Delia factor, and it's really funny, but let me tell you about what just happened. So I was, explaining to them that I had already called about this claim, da 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 da. Finally, by the time I was transferred, like 16,000 times, I got this gentleman, and he was telling me he was entertaining me, I guess, while somebody else was working on my account. So he comes back over and he's very professional, and he comes back over after I guess he's just trying to talk to me while he's waiting for this lady, and so, he's getting all my information, and all of a sudden he's like, "Okay," and he talks really, really fast, y'all, and I've lived in the South over half my life now, and so I not only speak Southern, but I hear Southern. So I kinda need some people, especially if you have, like, an accent, to talk a little slower. So he talked super, super fast, and so it was really, really hard to hear him and process what he was saying. So, anyways, he was super professional, and he was asking me all these questions, and then all of a sudden, he comes back on the line, and he just jumps in. He's like, "Yeah, so I knew somebody that lived in Mississippi, and she went to a concert," and, like, I it took my brain a minute to realize that we were no longer talking about my insurance claim, and he was talking about how good the food here is in Mississippi and, how this lady made him something, and it was, the best thing ever, and y'all, it was just so funny. So, I think he thinks that Mississippi's smaller than what it is, so I don't know, he kept telling me the lady's name and her husband's name, and I think he was trying to see if, maybe I knew them. Anyways, the funny part is, he was saying something about, "Where are you from in Mississippi?" and stuff like that, and then he's like, "Well, do you wanna know where I'm from?" And I was like, "Yeah, where are you from?" And then all of a sudden, there's this hold music, and I'm like, "What what just happened?" I'm just sitting there like, "Wow." So he comes back on, and then all of a sudden, he's very professional again and updating me about my account and everything, and I'm like, "Okay, well, thank you," um And then all of a sudden he's like, "Well, it was good getting to know you and all of these things and da 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 da." I just have to share that with y'all because I was just like, "What happened?" But he was super sweet. I enjoyed the conversation. It just took me a bit to realize what was going on. So, I just I just had to share that with y'all because it was super just different. It was okay. Now let me show you what I'm working on. I am working on Country Bumpkin Pumpkins because today starts the mini crochet along. So after this, I'm gonna be going live and showing you how to make one of these pumpkins. So this one, all it needs is to be stuffed, or well, you need to leave in the ends to start closing it up to give it the pumpkin look, and then you stuff it, and then you close this in, and then you just start wrapping this around to start making it look like a pumpkin. So what I did this weekend is I made several of these. Um so I can show you live not only how to work the stitches and make the pumpkin, but also how to shape it, all the things. And then I have another one somewhere. I put it in a project bag. Hmm. Is it this one? No. I meant to put it in a project bag. I very well could have left it in the other room because oh, it's the first one I got. Telling y'all that conversation just rocked my world. I'm just like, which I'm cool with the conversation. It was just I couldn't keep up. It was just so bizarre. And then I never got to find out where he's from. Like he just I'll never know. Oh, goodness. All right, so then I have a medium-sized one that I haven't finished yet. All I have to do is work these couple of stitches that I actually kind of pulled out when I was moving it around, and then I'm gonna show how to, slip stitch it together, and then jump into I think it's gonna be easier on the video to show the mini, like how I do the mini and stuff like that. So, I, for once, prepared. I got a mess. So I once kind of like prepared, got things together. So hopefully the live will be I mean, not like straightforward and boring, but it won't be like hot mess express. Like I can actually help people. So that is my plan. I'm really excited about showing everybody how to work the stitches and shape the pumpkins because I know for me, that was the hard part the first time that I was interested in making pumpkins. I'm like, okay, I get the stitches, but how do you make it look like a pumpkin? And it's easier than what it looks if you've never made a pumpkin before. Um, so that starts today. Super excited, and I've got some fun little prizes. Um, it's just a really quick crochet along. Like I'm basically gonna show y'all everything today. It's a free crochet along. You can find the pattern free on my blog. And then next Wednesday, I'll have a post up that you can show your finished pumpkins to be entered to win a prize. And the prize is really cool. So let me show you what else I'm working on. Okay. I resisted. I really did. I told myself that I was not going to start another sock until I finished this one. And I'm close. I'm probably 3/4 of the way to the toe decrease, and I've got to find the one that I finished. It's been so long. I have no idea what I did with it. So that's gonna be fun. Um, and I told myself that I was not going to start another sock until I finished this one, and I did really good for a really long time. Do you ever have a project that you wanna work on and you keep putting it off and putting it off, and then suddenly, like, you can't get anything done because all you think about is that project? Also, how funny is this? Look, I'm not kidding. Every single project bag I have Smarties in there. My husband and I ran out of Smarties. It was devastating. And I was like and he was like, "Man, I really want some." I was like, hold on. And like I didn't even get out of my chair. I reached over into my little rolly cart that has like all my crochet stuff and knitting stuff on it. And like within a minute I had 3 rolls of Smarties. He's like, "How do you do that?" I was like, "I literally have them stuffed everywhere." I said, "I could probably come up with more, but I needed to keep some for me." Anyways, so, I could not get into any project, and all I could think about was starting more socks, so I did. And this is how far I've gotten. I'm using a fingering weight yarn. This is some yarn from Lori at Arkansas Yarn Co. It was one of her Sock Yarn Society. Um, I don't know which month it was, but I love it. It was a fun month. She had what are those things called? Lemon heads, a box of lemon heads. She had a cute little cake cozy. It was a really fun month. So I knew that I saw that bright, pretty yellow that they had to be some fun socks. So I started that. Funny story. I always have some kind of whip in my purse. And before church on Sunday, everybody's getting in there and talking and stuff like that. Well, I just decided to cast on the sock. And I reached over to give a lady that sits next to me at church a pumpkin that I made for her. And and my yarn fell in the floor. And I didn't realize, but her sweet husband got up to grab the yarn for me. And it was like at that moment, I realized my yarn was like rolling across the church floor. So I just gave it a little yank and I didn't realize it, but he went to like pick up the yarn and I yanked at just the right time. And he just looked at me like, I know he thought I did it on purpose. And I did not do it on purpose. I just didn't realize it until that moment. And it was just like, everything just happened at once. I don't know. It was really funny. Um, yeah, I have a problem with socks. I do. I can't help myself. Um, okay, make sure I got this on the right side. And now I have started a Brinley twisted ear warmer, which looks really close to my country bumpkin pumpkin. Honestly, I wanted to do a Brinley pumpkin, but there's another designer that has a pumpkin that looks so similar. In fact, I did make a Brinley pumpkin. And there's another designer that has a pumpkin that looks, I mean, it's really, really close. And I was like, that's not fun. So I decided not to do a Brinley pumpkin. And that's how my country bumpkin pumpkin came to be because it has some different stitches in it to just give it a different texture. So I know it looks like it's one of the pumpkins, but it's not. It's a Brinley twisted ear warmer, and I'm really excited because I love this colorway. This is called Sassy But Cute, and these are some of my favorite color combinations. So I'm probably a little over halfway done. So I want to show you real quick because this is something that I see all the time, and I struggled with this. Puff stitches, these cute little puff stitches here. This is the front side of a puff stitch. And let me show you and see, it's called a puff stitch because it has that little puffed up look. Okay. Now this is what the back side of the puff stitch, see how it's kind of flat? It doesn't look as pretty, just kind of like blah. I mean, it's still pretty, but see how it's just kind of flat? And now look at the front side of the puff stitch. So that's how you tell the difference. It's just kind of, see the difference? Okay. I see people all the time, and I used to do this too, like my ear warmer was inside out. And so that's why when I go to do the twisted look, like before I weave in the ends, I look at it and make sure I did it correctly. So I thought, why not? It was on my brain. I'd show you real quick. Okay. So that is the other whip that I have. Hold on. There's more. Still going on this yarnable sock. I think I was at a different point last time. I can't remember because I messed up and I had to frog it. Yes, I am doing the heel turn and I'm almost finished. Like this sock is giving me flashbacks to my second sock that I ever started. Like the first sock that I made, it really wasn't that bad. Like it had its challenges. But that second sock, it'll test your gangster. It was like a defining moment. Like, am I going to see this through or am I just never going to make socks again? And I'm like, no, I really enjoy it. And so I'm having flashbacks to my second sock. I'm like, the struggle is real with this one. It's all good though. So I think I have 2 more whips and I don't think, look, oh goodness. This is the baby blanket I'm working on for my new nephew. And it's pretty funny because the last podcast I told y'all a little lie and did not realize that I lied, so I apologize. But my new nephew will be here in December, not November. So my honorary niece is pregnant and she's due in October. I'm not even going to try to tell you the date. Anyway, she's due in October. In fact, I put my yarn down on Saturday night or Saturday evening, and I did maternity pictures for her and her husband. It was so sweet and so precious, and it really felt good getting my camera back out. And I kind of miss doing photography, but had a great time. She's so precious. So anyways, she's pregnant, and then my sister-in-law are pregnant, and, like, I had it and I kept getting them mixed up for the longest time who was actually having the baby first, and then finally, I remembered that, okay, Destiny's having her baby in October, and she's having a girl, and then for some reason, I had in my head that my nephew was gonna be here in November, but I'm wrong, it's December. It was just too much going on at one time. So this is the blanket for him. And I really need to finish it because I'm taking it with me when I go to Phoenix at the end of the month. And then the other whip, I think I've shown y'all this, and I actually don't know if I've done any more since the last podcast. I promise. Life's been crazy lately, y'all. Okay, so maybe I have. I don't know. It's so pretty. This yarn is from Lori at Arkansas Yarn Co. As soon as I saw these 3 colors, I was like, yes, I have to make a Copland shawl with that. I love this pattern because you can easily remember it's like a 2-row repeat, and you can remember the rows, and the stitches are easy, and it's just one of those where you can just knit and not really have to think. So I love this pattern. Plus, it's super, super pretty. And the other one that I'm like almost finished with that I messed up and I cannot wrap my brain around. I know what I did, and I think I know how to fix it, but I can't tell where I picked up the wrong yarn and started working the wrong way on the pattern. So I just cannot figure it out. Like, um, I think if I took long enough to stare at it, which I haven't done, I could probably figure it out. But I have a super sweet friend that I actually met at the yarn crawl that messaged me and said, if you will send me your shawl, I will fix it for you. And I could just like give her the biggest hug. So I'm super excited about that because I put so much time into that. I'm really nervous that if I try to fix it myself, I'm gonna make it worse and then end up frogging the entire thing, and literally, I've been working on that project for months, so I'm really excited about just being able to send that to her, and I keep forgetting to mail it. I'm gonna have to put it by, like, my ship out computer, so I'll remember to mail that to her, so I'm so excited, and then the next time that I am with any of my knitting girls, like, I'm gonna be like, "Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to show me, like, how I can watch videos, but I feel like for that, I'm gonna need somebody, like, right there with me, like, holding my hand. So, super excited about getting that fixed. It's so great to have yarn friends, let me tell you. There's stuff everywhere on my desk. All right, so that's all that I'm working on. It's not much, right? It's not much. And I did not finish a single thing. Yeah. I just went through this, I don't know. I wanted to work on everything. I really got close to finishing the Country Bumpkin pumpkins, and I really wanted to use them for tutorials, so I almost finished something. There's that. So we're just skip right past the finished projects because I didn't finish anything. And I do have one new item that actually came in right after the podcast last week, and I wanted to show y'all these so badly. So I haven't used them, and it was really hard not to use them, but I knew myself enough that if I took these off of the cute packaging, I probably would never find all of them again. So I wanted to show y'all these. This is from Twin Mountain Handcrafts, And they're little sock stitch markers, but if you can see on there, it tells you what you're doing in the pattern. And I'm really excited about this because when I get to like some of the decrease rounds, I forget. It's like every other row you decrease and I forget about it. Um so I'm really excited about that because they have like the slip knit, they have the K2 together, like um I don't know what that is. Anyways, they're like little reminders what you're doing, and I need this in my life. So I'm really excited, and I got the pink glitter because why not? Um, so check them out. It's Twin Mountain Handcrafts. I found them on Instagram, and I think my friend Danielle, she's one of my yarn club members. I think she's the one that sent these to me. So thank you, Danielle. Well, she sent me the link. She said, basically, like, "This is what you need." And I'm like, "Yes, that is what I need." So I went and ordered some. Um, so that's all the new stuff that I have in. Um, Yarn news. Let me show y'all some of the stuff that I've been working on. So I'm about to have some sock sets available soon. And I'm gonna show y'all the colors. But I'm okay, so let me just jump in. Look at this. How pretty is this? So when I dyed this yarn, I was thinking sock sets, and I do think these would make gorgeous socks, but look at this color. I don't know. I think I'm still gonna do sock sets because even if, you decided to do a shawl or something with this, um, I think I wanna do a different purple though. I had some extra minis laying around. Um, I think I want a royal purple, like that. I think this purple's pretty, but I think a royal purple would just be prettier. So I was trying to dye some yarn to go with some of these little minis, but I definitely think this is gonna need like that royal purple color. So this, I haven't named this yet. So I'm open to suggestions. I think these would make really, really pretty socks. I have it on DK and I have it on sock weight. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness. I love the different shades of gray, and I was able to contain myself with speckles, so it's not, like, all speckly. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really excited about these, and I'm hopefully gonna keep at least one for me. So, let me show y'all the other colorway. I did not hold myself back on the speckles on this one. It's like I have to, there has to be a balance. There has to be like a colorway that I have to rein myself in on speckles, and then there has to be one that like all bets are off. So all bets are off on this one. And I love speckles for socks. So I think this is going to be really pretty too. And maybe this will go with that. Yeah, I think that'll be. I've got some pink too. Did I put the pink in here? So I think that'll be pretty for sock sets. Look at these speckles. So pretty. So these will be coming soon. I love the way that this DK base takes speckles too. So pretty. So these will be available soon. And then I'm also really excited about this that I put together. It's just a cute little notions jar, and I keep one of these with every single sock whip. There's a lot. With every single sock whip that I have because, and I'm going to show y'all why. Um, I love these little round stitch markers because they're so easy to slip from one needle to the other. And this is my trick, okay? So, in each of these jars, I have either a blue or a black stitch marker and then another colored stitch marker, the round stitch markers, because I like to do blue or black for my beginning of round. Like, you can look at your work and you can tell once you've knit socks a couple of times and you can tell which side is, the front and which side's the back, but sometimes it's nice to take the thinking out of it to like, so I have blue or black for beginning of round. They both start with B. So when I'm on this side and I'm about to start, I see blue, so I know beginning of round. So if it's a decrease round, I know that 3 stitches before the blue stitch marker, I'm going to do a decrease. And it just makes life so much easier. And then when I flip it around and I know I'm about to use do this side, I know that I'm not going to do anything until I get to that stitch marker. And then I'll knit one, do a decrease and go from there. And then when you get to your toe decrease, then you do something before and after each one. Anyways, it just makes it so much easier so you're not constantly stopping and looking at your work. You can just look at that blue beginning, black beginning, and here we are. And then it also has my other favorite stitch markers for socks, and these little light bulb stitch markers that I like to use to mark different stitches. I like to use it to mark where I started my toe decrease, because then on my second sock, I can just continue to measure up against the first sock and I don't have to physically use my tape measure. So I'm putting these little things together for people to purchase if they want to. And it has, I don't know, I think 15 of these light bulb stitch markers. And then it has 2 of these little um, circular stitch markers. Because in my yarn club, we are going to do a sock make along in October. And I'm going to show them all the tricks that I have learned and hopefully bring more people over to the sock side because it's so much fun. So I have those coming soon. All right. Are y'all ready to see the fall collection? I don't think I've completely finished it yet because I have some more ideas. Also, the reason why I like to do a lot of different options is because I know not all colors are for everybody. And if you wanted to make like a bigger project, you still have options. Like I will put these together with you can get the entire set or you can get different sets that you pick. Um, so that's kind of why I like to do a lot because then you have options. All right. Let me see if I can hold all of these up at one time. So it all started out with this. This is my sunflower flannel from like 2 years ago. One of my favorite fall colorways. I just love it. And then I knew it needed a brown. I still think it needs a dark brown. I do. I thought about doing this color and then doing a pour over of the dark. Or just doing a chocolate brown tonal. I'm not sure yet, but I think that's really pretty together. And then this yellow. Oh, it's so hard to hold it all. And then, okay, I don't think I like this color. Okay, I like the color, but I wanted something darker, I think. So that might not be the final color. I really think I want something darker, like more of a wine color, like that. It's so hard to hold all of these together. Let me see if I can. All right, we're going to try it. All right, here we go. What y'all think? It's really hard to hold it all together. I'm going to get some pictures soon. So I don't know how I feel about this one. I really feel like I need it to be darker. I feel like the darker color would go really well with that too. Let me know what you think. All right, I'm gonna hold it up one more time. I also feel like I need some type of orange in there. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you think. Um, but I just could not wait to share these with y'all. They're so pretty. I love fall colors. So that's all that's going on in the yarn. I am working on September's yarn club colorways. I have the first colorway done and it's gorgeous. This is also my birthday month, so we are playing really fun games in the yarn club, y'all. One of the games I love to laugh. So one of the games is Never Have I Ever Crochet Edition. And I ended up loving it so much. I did a Never Have I Ever Crochet Knit edition on Instagram and Facebook. And it's so fun because some of the responses are hilarious. I think in the yarn club, I put never, ever, ever crocheted like in the bathtub or something like that, which is actually really tempting because it's so relaxing to like sit in a hot bubble bath. And I think it would be really cool to crochet, but I don't know. I may have to try it. Anyway, so if you wanna join in the fun, let me know in the comments, like, never have I ever crochet or knit what? One lady said she had never, I can't remember if it was crochet or knit riding her horse, and I'm like, "That would be really interesting." Um, I can't remember all of the ones, but some of them really made me laugh, and then some of them was like, "Ooh, I kinda wanna accept that challenge." I think that would be really fun. So yeah, that's all that is going on. It's been interesting over here. My husband is in his 3rd week of his new job and his shift is different this week and we think it's going to be the same shift next week too. So we're just winging it day to day. It's all good. And I am trying to get everything done a little ahead of schedule so I can go out of town at the end of the month and go visit family. And I'm really looking forward to that. So that is all that I have for y'all today. And I'm going to leave y'all. I usually do a momentum moments, but this one is going to be a little different. And I normally don't watch the news, but there's been some crazy things going on lately. And recently there was, and this happens all of the time. Um, and so it's not just because of her, but there was a lady that was abducted in Memphis, which is not very far from us. And it was a several day thing of not knowing if, she was still alive and things like that. And and I had a friend on Facebook post about an experience that she went through. And so this has really been on my heart, and I just want to share with y'all, ladies especially. If you are out in public by yourself, please be aware of your surroundings. Um, it's so easy to be distracted and I've been there too. Like we think, we're at our local Walmart. We know it's never going to happen to us. It's not going to happen in this town. Um and so we can kind of let our guard down. And I know like especially like if I'm out of town and I'm like, in a bigger city and something like that, like I'm even more hyper aware of my surroundings and more vigilant. And sometimes I can let that guard down when I'm closer to home. So I just want to stress to y'all, always be aware of your surroundings because you just never know. There's just so many unwell people in this world. And and I can't stress this to you enough. And another thing that I do, especially when I'm traveling or even when I'm out in public, I'm kind of aware of other women too. I know, when I was waiting for my mom at the airport, there's like a cell phone lot, and I was sitting there, and there was a lady that was by herself, and she was letting her dogs walk. And I was sitting in my truck knitting, And I happened to look up and I noticed her, and so I put my knitting down and I watched her because it's kind of a vulnerable spot for her because she's watching her dog and, all the things, and, when you're loading your dog or your child or something in your vehicle, you're not even aware of your surroundings, and, she was on her phone and things like that, and so I watched her back for her because you just don't know. We think it's not gonna happen to us, but if you can be aware of your surroundings, that is I feel like that is key because when somebody is looking for somebody to abduct, they're looking for somebody that's distracted. Um, they're looking for an easy target. And so if you're aware, it makes you not so much of an easy target. So don't be on your phone. I know it's hard. I try not to be on my phone when I'm in public, because it's a distraction. Usually, like if I'm talking to my husband, I'll wait in my vehicle with the door locked, finished up a conversation with my husband, and I'm not going to walk around on my phone because I need to be aware of my surroundings. Also, trust your gut. I know there's been times where do you ever just have that feeling that somebody's looking at you? And trust your gut. There's been times, like, I felt like somebody was looking at me, and like, this is the thing. So many times, like, we don't want to, like, make eye contact with somebody, but let me tell you, like, if you let them know that you're aware without you don't even have to speak to them, but if you can just look like, I know the person that I'm talking about, I felt like somebody was watching me, and this, like, happened several times throughout the store, and finally, like, I turned around and I saw him, and he's kind of, like, lurking, and I just looked at him very directly, and it was just kind of like, "I see you," and it was kinda like, "Homegirl, don't play that." You know what I mean? Like, so, be I cannot stress that enough. Trust your gut, be aware of your surroundings, and we can't be aware of our surroundings if we're distracted. Um, if you are ever uncomfortable in a store, um, find somebody. Um, even if it's just if you're not comfortable going up to another male and saying, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. Would you mind walking me to my vehicle?" Find another woman, ask somebody at guest care, ask for the store manager. Ask for a police escort. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous, and sometimes we can't explain our gut instincts, but it's there to keep us safe, and sometimes we just have to trust ourselves and trust our gut, and don't try to do it alone. If somebody's making you uncomfortable, if you're not feeling safe, if you stayed in Walmart too long and it's now dark and you're not comfortable walking out to your vehicle, look, it's better safe than sorry. Find somebody to be like, "Hey, let's walk out together." Find another woman, be like, "Hey, let's walk out together. Where are you parked at?" And, walk to her vehicle with her and make sure she can get her groceries in safely, and then she can do the same for you, and y'all can kinda watch each other's back. It's just I know it you're probably like, "This girl's lost her mind," but it seriously, like, you just can't be too careful. And not only be aware for you, but be aware for other women. You see a lady that has some toddlers she's toting around, and then she has to, load them up in her vehicle along with her groceries, if you're not comfortable going up to her, because I know you don't really wanna scare somebody, like, "Hey, can I help you?" You know what I mean? They'll be like, "Ah, you're weird." But what we can do is we can be aware for her. When she's putting her toddlers in her car, we can kind of check her surroundings and, make sure that she's safe. I know this has been a couple years ago now, but we had a customer when I was working in the pharmacy, we had a customer come in, and she was telling us about how there was this guy that kept walking up to women in the parking lot and, asking them for money or, asking them for things, and she was talking about how uncomfortable she was, and I was just like somebody's like, "Well, call the cops." I was like, "Yes, call the cops, but, no." Like, and she said that they had come up to her in our parking lot, and I was like, "Mm-mm, mm-mm." I went out there. And I saw him walking up to a lady that had her toddler and was putting him in her vehicle. That is such a vulnerable spot for a woman that you're trying to get your child secure and somebody comes up to you. And I was hollering at him through that parking lot. I was like, "You leave her alone." I was like, and he was very startled and I'm like walking towards him and I'm like, "You don't go up to women in their vehicles in this parking like you just don't." I'm not saying he was up to no good, maybe he just needed a dollar, but don't do that. That makes people uncomfortable, um, and I told him to leave. I did. And I watched him. I made sure he knew I was watching him walk across the parking lot, and he even waved at me as he got back in his vehicle. I'm like, "Mm-mm, nope, not on my watch, sir." So I know that sounds crazy, but I cannot stress to you enough, this is a dangerous world that we live in, and I know I can take it for granted that I live in a safer area. Um, so I just wanted to share this with y'all. There's several things that I do when I'm alone, especially when I'm traveling. Like I do, I do carry a pistol with me, but it's in my purse, and there's all these things I have to go through to get to my pistol, or if you carry mace or a whistle or whatever. But there are things that we have that as a weapon that, are right there. Number 1, our voice, we can scream, we can kick, we can grab, twist, and pull. I know, but look, you gotta throw fighting fair out the window when somebody's attacking you. Another thing that I do, we'll just pretend this is my keys, okay? Y'all like, "This girl is straight up gangster." But look, I've been in some crazy situations, and you just have to be able to protect yourself. So, car keys, we always have them in our hand, especially when you're leaving out of the store. If not, when you are at checkout and you're getting everything organized, take those extra few minutes, locate your keys, have your keys in your hand when you're walking out that door. That way, you're not at your vehicle digging in your car, digging, trying to find your keys. You have them ready before you ever walk out of the store, okay? I have them in my fist, especially when I used to live in the city. And this is how I carry my key. My biggest key that I have it like this. And nobody will notice. Like, and that way, if somebody comes up, tries to snatch your purse, tries to do whatever, you can come up swinging. I know y'all are like, "This girl is crazy." Yes, I am crazy, but I used to live in the city. I lived alone for the longest time. I was very independent, so I was going places by myself all the time, and you just have to learn to, um, just be prepared for anything. So, there's different things, like, yeah, you can carry a mace, you can carry a pistol, you can carry a knife, whatever, but if that thing is in your purse, it's not gonna do you any good when somebody's attacking you. Okay. And if you have a self-defense course, that you can take somewhere, I highly suggest that. Um, but let me tell you, before any of that, the best thing that's gonna keep you safe is to not be distracted. Be aware of your surroundings. There's little things that you can do, um, and start practicing that will keep you safe and keep you aware of your surroundings. Okay, I'm gonna get off the soapbox now, but I care. I cannot stand the thought of seeing another woman victimized, another woman abducted and hurt, and it just breaks my heart. And this happens all the time. And I feel like if we can just spread awareness and teach each other how we can just take those extra steps to hopefully prevent things from even happening. So that's all for now. And if you have tips, share them in the comments. Is there something that you do when you're out by yourself to make sure that you're aware of your surroundings, or that if something does happen, you can fight back? Share those with us. Okay, I'm going to get off my little soapbox now, but I care. And I hope that y'all are doing good. And until next week, happy crocheting. Bye, y'all.